It's Monday and the shit is hitting the fan. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Well, over the weekend, the war of words, I don't know if it's a war of words, but it's something. It's something. I'm just saying. It's something. And, ooh, boy, is it getting interesting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I will tell you. It's Metal Monday on the Morning Night Live. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. And let's stop the intro. And we'll play something a little different. Good morning, my peoples. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, me, Marty, a.k.a. PDawg Night. It is May 11th, 2020. Happy Monday, people. Got a little metal-ish music in the background. It is Metal Monday, so that's what you're going to hear most of the show. And, over the weekend, by the way, never mind. Over the weekend, we got a little taste of, let's just say, former President Obama got a little upset with this whole Michael Flynn thing, and he tweeted out something that I thought really didn't make a whole lot of sense. And when you read it, you realize why it doesn't make any sense. But oh my goodness! And then apparently, that got under the current president's craw, and he retweeted out something regarding something called, well, I can't call it that because what happened was, as I'm looking at my feed for YouTube this morning, there's people who put out videos every morning, right? And one of my people I listen to just kind of on the regular basis, because he is probably the most prolific person to listen to regarding two things. One, the COVID-19 issue that's going on around the world. And he's a very good prognosticator when it comes to the political happenings in the United States. He's the only pundit, small time or big time, who got every single state right in the 2016 election as far as the presidential race. And that would be our good friend Styx, okay? Styx, Hex, and Hammer 666. Now, I'm not into the occult stuff he's into and all that other stuff, but he's pretty astute when it comes to politics and this COVID-19 thing. He's been right. Everything he said has been right. So I just, I listen to him every morning. But normally on any given morning, he puts out 3 videos. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? 3 videos. And I get the little, it ends up in my little notification box, that you get. And this morning, there were only 2. And I'm thinking to myself, did Styx, now, by the way, Styx also does 4 videos every morning, but 3 of them he puts on YouTube. And then he puts the other 4th video on exclusively on BitChute. And I've never gone over to watch his exclusive BitChute video because the videos I usually look for from Styx are coronavirus politics, okay? Now, they were there, but there was only 2. The 3rd video was missing. And so I'm thinking, that's unusual. Because Styx is like, you can set your watch, well, not your watch, because he does them at early in the morning, different times, but you can certainly set your expectations like clockwork. And so I went over to Styx's channel. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What was the 3rd video that he did this morning that YouTube decided not to notify us of? And it was hashtag gate. Now, most of you should know what means on this channel by now, but I'm going to be using the in place of the former president known as all right, real quick, thank you. This is Kyle, the first super chat of the day for $2, saying hello chat and hello chat people and PDawg. Good morning. This is Kyle. You beat me to this good mornings, but anyway, so I thought, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if YouTube decided that they're not going to promote anything that says hashtag gate. So I am going to avoid using that terminology. You'll notice in the description of this particular stream today, it is the Morning Night Live number 326, hashtag gate. And that's how we're going to do it. Shares his name with the former Iraqi dictator. Yes, he does. The former president of the United States does share his middle name with the former Iraqi dictator. Thank you for asking, Shiograd. That would be that. So, before we move on, we're going to talk a little bit about hashtag gate today. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. But first, before I do that, on this wonderful Metal Monday, I'm going to say good morning, because that's what I do on the Morning Night Live. I say good morning to the folks who are in the chat, because I am so happy you're here. We got 38 people here already. That might be a new record 7 minutes into the show. That's awesome. Good morning. All right, so let's say good morning to who's here. First of all, the bell today goes to Mr. Advocatus Diaboli, the devil's advocate, who was here first. Thank you for coming in today early and bright and early. Good morning also to Donatello Slapafellow, my favorite name on the internet. Also, James Colley, a loyal and listener and friend of many shows that I listen to. Good morning to Richo, my friend from Down Under. Good morning, Keenan. Good morning, Mike Savage Blarg. Good morning, John Connor. Good morning to Midnight in Exile. Sean D.W., Duck Dog, Chicago Mike, Sheograph, Howdy Bigots, Zombie Teddy. Let's see, got Chicago. Did I hit Chicago Mike already? All right, we're there. Good morning to E. Michael. Also, good morning to the Reverend Tex Watson. Good morning, Jay Wolf. Good morning, Selecta Boy. Yeah, boy. Good morning to Gunfox61, also a separate person after Gunfox61, a completely separate person. Good morning to the gayest person on YouTube, and also Tyler F, and Smarty Bear, and C. Thomas, brother, where you been? I'm glad you're here. Also, good morning to Cindy Rochelle and Snubbirth13. Is he reading the chat or the list? No, I'm reading the chat. I should probably it would be easier just to put the list out, but sometimes people pop in there. That's probably would be an easier way to do it. But now not everyone's on there. So, and it goes in the alphabetical order. Oh, also good morning to Brenda Fry. I didn't see you in there too. All right. So I read the chat because then I make sure I get everyone who's actually here. So, and good morning, Cynical Lindsay. Yes. Oh, bad news if you were not paying attention or you haven't looked at the news today. Jerry Stiller passed away. Jerry Stiller, the father of Ben Stiller, also he's an actor, comedian, known for The King of Queens, Seinfeld, and also in several movies. He passed away at 92 years old. Also, the originator. What's that holiday he made up on Seinfeld? Festivus? Isn't that his holiday? I don't know. Oh, good morning, Maddie, too. Good morning from the House of Geek. Okay, so let's get into it today. In fact, Jerry Stiller is trending #1 today. Rest in peace, Jerry Stiller from pretty funny guy. So played Frank Costanza. That's Frank Costanza. It was Costanza's dad. So anyway. All right. Also, quick thank yous while I'm at it to Cindy Rochelle, Tyler F, Jay Wolf. I suppose I'll be. In fact, let me do a quick retweet of Cindy Rochelle. Thank you for everyone who tweets out the show. Remember, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, these viewers of the Morning Night Live. You can certainly. The show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. You can click the link in the chat or in the description down below, or you can go to PDawgnight.live. Also, please, the bigger thing you can do right now is share the stream. We're trying to grow, get to past that 1,000 mark by July. Might be hosting a big time debate in a few sometime here soon. I'll give you details if that happens, but that probably will. That might throw me over the top. But anyway. Share the stream out. You can click the arrow, or you can follow me on Twitter, DLive, or Gab, and retweet me there. And then also, if you like what we do, sometime in the show, hit that thumbs up button, and you know the deal. You know the thing, right? You all know the thing. All right, let's get into a little bit about Gate, because that was the big topic yesterday. But if you missed it, we're going to talk about it today, and most of my articles are related to that, because there's a whole lot going on with things that the Department of Justice is releasing, the things that certain Congress people are releasing, that pencil neck dude, Adam Schiff, and we're going to talk about those things. They're all related to I almost said it. Gate. Hashtag. So anyway, so the big news yesterday, the reason this came up, and it was number one almost all day yesterday, after the current president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, tweeted a single word hashtag. And it was the hashtag Gate. Okay? And so here's what that was all about. You can read the title. I won't have to do that. President Trump goes after May 10th, 2020. The big, in capital letters, the words Gate was what President Trump tweeted. That's when President Donald Trump tweeted one word, all caps, one exclamation mark, that changes everything. A day earlier, the president also tweeted Jesse Waters' video titled Gate, the scandal at the epicenter of the American politics that has many names: Russiagate, the Russia hoax, Spygate, but it's only fitting that it should end with its true name. Good morning, Jason Burns. What's happening? With its true name. This was never, ever about the Russians, and the spies were cogs in a machine who were following orders. One man, not some nebulous organization or unaccountable bureaucracy, pushed the lever and decided to use the machinery of law enforcement and intelligence agencies to suppress political opposition. One man. Another Democrat in the White House long ago once put up a sign on his desk that said, "The buck stops here." Or as Lisa Page, formerly of the FBI, texted more recently, "POTUS wants to know everything we're doing." Oh, remember that? Hello, Jonas Pedersen. POTUS wants to know everything we're doing. The POTUS in question wasn't Truman anymore. It was... I suppose I can say his name as long as it's not in the word Gate, right? Okay, that president was Barack Obama. That never gets old for me. I know some of you think it gets old, but it never gets old for me. And the gang couldn't frame straight... What? Wait a minute. The gang that couldn't frame straight was prepping FBI ex-boss Comey to brief Obama on the plot. In an address to the real deep state, the 3,000 members of the Obama Alumni Association, the titular head of the government in exile that has been working its manicured fingernails off to subvert, undermine, and betray the actual president of the United States, lectured on the rule of law. Now, listen to this sentence, because this was on a phone call. Okay, somehow this phone call got leaked. So somebody on that phone call, somebody on the phone call actually leaked this out. Now listen to this sentence very carefully as I read it, because I want you to see if you catch something here. Quote, "There is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who has been charged with perjury just getting off scot-free." Whoa. What's that sentence again? I'll say it correct. Oh, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
All right, listen to this. There's no precedent that anybody can find for someone who has been charged with perjury just getting off scot-free. That's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that that basic, not just institutional norms, but our basic understanding of the rule of law is at risk. Now, who can tell me what's wrong with that sentence? I'm going to say it again. There is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who has been charged with perjury just getting off scot-free. Actually, there's two problems. There's two problems with that. I'm going to give you the little... I wish I meant to put the Jeopardy theme in here. By the way, I do have my cup of Reparations coffee in hand with a little cough syrup. Hopefully I won't cough too much during this show. What's wrong with that sentence? Anybody? The precedent is Clinton? No. Well, Clinton didn't really get off scot-free. He got impeached and he lost his law license and he had all kinds of problems, but that's not even the problem with the sentence. There is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who has been charged with perjury just getting off scot-free. Cindy Rochelle got the first part. There is no perjury. Remember, perjury is when you lie under oath. Okay? Michael Flynn wasn't being charged with lying under oath because Michael Flynn didn't even know the questions he was being asked were part of an investigation. But he still got charged with it for lying to FBI agents. That's not perjury because he wasn't under oath. That's okay. You got half. What's the second half? Well, let me just tell you because there's a lag in the chat anyway. Okay, there is no precedent that anybody can find for someone who has been charged with perjury just getting out scot-free. What if they're innocent? If someone's charged with perjury and they are innocent, could they get off scot-free? I would think so. That's not even a start. So when he says that's the kind of stuff where you begin to get worried that the basic, not just the institutional norms, but our basic understanding of the rule of law is at risk, I'm beginning to think if our constitutional scholar friend, Barack Obama, really understands the law himself. If you're just because you're charged with perjury doesn't mean that you will be convicted and sentenced with perjury. Thank you, Cryptic, our second super chat of the day, a big 500. Cryptic says, "This is rich coming from a president who abused his power and used executive orders to do things to bypass Congress. He should be thrown in jail." Well, I don't know. And maybe I don't know if thrown in jail, but certainly this is a taint on his legacy. Just love using that word for some reason. Oh, good morning, MC. How you doing?
Hammer time.
And also good morning to BG. And okay, we're all here. All right. But yeah, if you're just because you're charged with something doesn't mean you are automatically convicted and thrown in jail. There's another problem here. Basic understanding of the rule of law is risk. And this one I didn't even really mean to think of when I talked about this, but let's think about this. So in the Obama administration, there was someone who, oh, you were thinking of Bill Clinton. I'm the other Clinton, perhaps. Is that you were talking about, Avocados Diaboli? There's another Clinton who James Comey himself came out and said that this other Clinton person actually did break the law as far as handling classified information. And even though this person broke the law handling classified information, we wouldn't, nobody would prosecute that. I don't know if I've ever heard of a case where someone actually mishandles classified information in such a way that the the former Secretary of State did that hasn't been charged with a crime. Think about this. Because a lot of people like to say the words, quote, but her emails. But the next time someone says that, I'm ready for that, especially if it's on Twitter, because I have the line for that little but her emails, thinking it's cute because it's just about emails, right? I would say, oh, you mean the classified information that was transferred to the laptop that a convicted sex offender was using to send dick pics to a 15-year-old girl? Those emails? Just a little careless, they changed the wording from negligent to careless. Oh, it's just a little careless. A little minor mistake. You had classified emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. A convicted sex offender who was using that same laptop to send dick pics to a 15-year-old girl. Nah, nobody would ever compromise that unsecured laptop. Shitheads. Anyway, General Flynn wasn't charged with perjury. Maybe Page and Strzok should have spent more time helping Comey brief the C student in the Oval Office and less time carrying it. Or carrying on. Carrying on. Yeah, they were having an affair, remember? And Strzok was one of the people who interviewed Flynn. And in fact, well, we'll get into this later. There's a whole lot today. I'm going to try to get through it quickly. Yeah, the sailor that got a teleslappenfeld, the dude who got thrown in jail for taking a picture. It was a Navy submarine. Yeah, it was a nuclear submarine. Took a picture just to send to his parents. They threw him in jail. They threw Jeffrey Sterling in jail. Jeffrey Sterling, who was a whistleblower. Remember how much they love whistleblowers, right? Jeffrey Sterling was a whistleblower. And they retroactively classified some information that they found in a wiretap of his phone and threw him in jail for retroactively classified information. 2 years, I think. How many years does Jeffrey Sterling stay in jail? It was a while. Anyway. Oh, hailing. Jonas Patterson. Be careful. It's hailing wherever Jonas Patterson is. Okay. Anyway, so here we go. But it's Obama. But it's really Obama who might want to spend time reviewing the penalties for perjury or making false statements to the FBI, because Obamacate is coming back. Oh, yeah, I said it. Because Gate is coming back home where the buck stops, and the buck stops with Barry Soetoro. That's the message that President Trump has sent by tweeting Gate, followed by videos, graphics, and text laying out the case, not just the scum who carried out the coup, but against their boss who watched, oversaw, and was certain that he would get away with his worst crime yet. Now, this is an editorial, by the way, if you didn't notice. But it just seems, and it's going to be interesting to see if any of this really goes through. And I think Obama weighing in the other day is a big tell. Somebody's a little nervous, right? Just a little nervous, just a little, just tiny, easy, right there, tiny bit nervous. But I don't have a whole lot of faith in our system necessarily, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Investigations start by exposing, breaking down, and then flipping the stooges before working their way up the ladder to the bosses who gave the orders. And then the man at the top, the investigation formerly known as Spygate, has been burning its way through the titular spies who did the dirty work. And yes, I'm wondering how long it's going to take for some of these guys to start singing. Obviously, wait till you hear some of this testimony. We'll get there. The Steele dossier, the two-legged stool on whose shaky pretext President Trump and his allies were targeted, was exposed by tracing it up the ladder to the Clinton campaign and then back through the layers of the scam, FISA evidence, media surrogates, and incestuous fusion, GPS, FBI, DOJ relationships. But Hillary Clinton wasn't an elected official. She had no official power to give anyone any orders. Only one man had the authority to weaponize every intelligence agency by directly controlling their heads and cabinet members. And as Gate burns up, it has only one possible stopping point. Page and Strzok's communications opened the gateway upward. McCabe and Steele widened it. The new FBI texts are, remember this word, bombshells. Good morning, Adam Richard. President Trump has tweeted after the Strzok page text. Steele since has testified that he not only knew Hillary Clinton was in the loop, but that National Security Advisor Susan Rice had been briefed. By the way, I still have that testimony. I should probably read this one of these days. Christopher Steele, in fact, I have it right here. Christopher Steele was testifying in a case because he got sued by some Russian oligarchs who some of his lies got to in Russia. And so in British court, he was testifying in March. It amazes me that nobody in the American press other than John Solomon was paying attention to that case, because in that case, which I have right here, at least the pages that are relevant, Christopher Steele acknowledged that he was being paid by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC. He said it in sworn testimony in a court in another case. It's right there on this piece of paper. I printed it out. I had to see it for myself. So, Christopher Steele has since testified that he not only knew that Hillary Clinton was in the loop, but that the National Security Advisor Susan Rice had been briefed. Obamagate. Oops, I still can't say it. If it gets, oh gosh, I may not be able to. Who knows if this video is going to stay up if I keep saying. Let's fix that. Gate had linked together the figures empowered to conduct surveillance of political opponents with political figures in the White House. That's how covert spying operations like Watergate work. The DOJ is meant to serve as a buffer against abuses like these. The public decision to bring down the hammer on General Flynn was not made by acting Attorney General Sally Yates, who had been left out of the loop. Yeah, she didn't even know. Hello, Renee Miette. Miette. I said it right this time. Good morning, Renee. Attorney General Sally Yates, or Acting Attorney General Sally Yates, who had been left out of the loop and had to be told about it by Obama. Yeah, that's the other thing. In testimony, she said she found out about this stuff because Obama himself briefed her, told her what was happening. It's funny. It's funny to me. It's funny to me. While unnamed, another good morning, C. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $3 super chat via Streamlabs. Remember, PDawg, the only Republicans are corrupt. immoral, and willing to do anything for power. The Dems pull gay ops against America, and it's people for our own good. Or it's for our own good, people, because it's okay when they do it. It's hashtag Gate. While unnamed Obama, thank you again, C. Thomas. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're doing okay. I was worried about you, but hey, you're alive and kicking. Thank you, sir. While unnamed Obama advisors were being briefed by the FBI about the Flynn case, the Attorney General was not. That's a fundamental reversal of how the justice system is supposed to work. So when the AG hears about a case against an opposition figure from POTUS, the President of the United States, that's not a DOJ case. That's a White House case. Ha ha! The Obama administration had spent years, at the least, eavesdropping on domestic political opponents, including members of Congress, possibly even fellow Democrats, under the guise who had been using the NSA as their private Watergate wanted. The last thing the guys who had been using the NSA as their private Watergate wanted was a national security advisor who might have exposed them, aka what's his name? Michael Flynn, who was coming in as the national security advisor. Obamagate was trending until Twitter started suppressing it, up to 3 million tweets in France. America's censoring, and it's going back up. I'm telling you, people are starting to, it's funny because, how people who are fans of President Obama, they just are having a hard time with this, and the media, the left. We'll get into the left-wing media about this tomorrow. We're going to talk about. I'm going to listen to other people, but anyway, there's some really just gems from the weekend, I'll tell you. All right, let's see. Okay, so they decided to do to Flynn what they had only played at They decided to do to Flynn what they had only played at doing to other political opponents. I don't know what that sentence means. And this is, who wrote this? This is by Daniel Greenfield. He says, as I wrote 3 years ago, once Obama and his allies launched their domestic surveillance operation, they crossed the Rubicon. There was no way back. They had to destroy President Trump or risk going to jail. And the president's still hanging in there. I'm just saying. The more crimes they committed by spying on the opposition, the more urgently they needed to bring down Trump. The consequences of each crime that they had committed spurred them on to commit worse crimes to save themselves from going to jail. As I predicted, this is Daniel Greenfield, as I predicted that the Democrats will finally get their Watergate. Except the star won't be Trump. It will be Obama. The great shadowy investigation that has consumed so many years of our national politics has come apart. Mueller delivered nothing, which is, I don't know if the Mueller team decided that if they actually tried to do something more substantive, that they would have got ripped to shreds. So they did this fake report just to, still put the taint of I love that word. Put the taint of corruption out there just for the media and for the people, and really didn't want to actually prosecute anyone else or really accuse the president of anything. So they just it seems to be just all a sham. It's embarrassing for our country. Holy shit. All the claims about collusion have come apart and nothing remains to justify the whole thing. It's time that the investigators become the investigated, which they are right now. John Durham that's what his whole thing is. And there's, oh man, the stuff that's coming out is just juicy. That's the message that President Trump's Obamagate tweets. His retweet of the Jesse Waters video. I'm gonna, you know what? Here, I think I already opened that. Whether you're on Twitter or not, I'm not gonna play the Jesse Waters video. We'll do Tucker's video later. But there's a link to Jesse Waters' video. You can check out later. Laying out the case against Obama is sending to those who have perpetuated this plot against America. The tables are turning, and the question now becomes, will middle-rank ex-feds be willing to go to jail to protect their bosses? Will those bosses be willing to go to jail to protect cabinet members? And will they all be willing to go to jail to protect if Biden loses, so does the Obama Alumni Association. So when the OAA boys and girls go the way of the Clinton Foundation and the Carter Home for Wayward Marxists with nothing for them except a tough choice between a cell and naming names, Obama knows it's his last shot. His network brought him these past years of undermining Trump, but all of it's worthless if Biden loses, taking his prestige with him and opening him up to investigation. An independent prosecutor can take years to do his job, but once appointed, grinds slowly and small. The Obama coup has run all these years, but it's reached the end of the line. The investigations are turning back on their instigator as Spygate and its minions gave way to Gate. The new phase will reach beyond the henchmen to the political operatives who are giving orders and to their boss. Beyond Spygate lies the spy masters, and beyond them, the master of the spy masters. Obama operatives committed treason for political gain. Only one man had the power to command them and to reward them and to bring together the forces that spied on men, women, and a nation. Hashtag Gate is not just the reckoning of the nation's needs. It's the reckoning that the rule of law deserves. Whoa. There we go. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, the Jesse Waters video, I'm not going to play it because it's I think it's 8 minutes long. If I have time at the end, maybe we'll check it out at the end, but I got a whole lot more to get to. So here's another one here. Apparently, so as you also know, a whole penis gate. C. Thomas. Hashtag Penisgate, C. Thomas says, I see ya. How is it even legal for Biden to run under this type of suspicion of open treason? Well, you know, treason is a pretty interesting word. But, oh, by the way, Biden also was in some of those meetings. they might mention that in some of these articles. So anyway, over the weekend we had a document dump on Friday, like happens often. Which is funny because Adam Schiff was really fighting to not have his committee transcripts from all the different interviews they did. And it's funny because like when for the last few years we've been hearing about these different committee interviews, right? Interviews with the various players in this whole thing. And Adam Schiff was so assuredly publicly at least saying, oh yes, we have all this evidence and yada, yada, yada. And all these people that they interviewed all had this evidence. They all did this, they all do that, and they know everything. And yet, now that the transcripts are out, which Adam Schiff didn't want anyone to see, holy Shiite Batman. There's a problem. Top Obama officials under oath told Schiff's committee they saw no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. Which I have a new sound effect for all these people. That was one of them. Oh, wait, I have another one.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Yes, I think was that MC. Was that you who suggested that one? That was a good suggestion. I can't remember. I think that was you. Okay. Anyway, although House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff repeatedly said there was strong evidence that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia to affect the 2016 election, the documents released Thursday by the committee and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence revealed that the principals involved, such as former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, told the Intelligence Committee in closed interviews in 2017 that they never saw any direct evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. Now, you would think that the news media would have been pouring all over these notes, and that would have been one of the top stories over the weekend. Oh, silly fucking me. Nearly every major player in the Obama administration who was interviewed by Schiff's committee said the same thing. No evidence of collusion. I never saw any direct empirical evidence that the Trump campaign or someone in it was plotting or conspiring with the Russians to meddle in the election, Clapper said in his July 17, 2017 interview. Wait a minute. James Clapper, where do I know that name? Oh, yeah, the former director of national intelligence. What was he saying in public, though?
Well, what was the Trump campaign doing the same time?
What were they doing?
Essentially aiding and abetting.
They were aiding and abetting?
And having contacts,
the Russians?
dozens of contacts
really?
with Russians, some of whom were connected officially to Russian intelligence.
Oh, whoa. Wait a minute. In testimony under oath, you said, I never saw any direct empirical evidence that the Trump campaign or someone in it was plotting or conspiring with the Russians to meddle in the election. That's really different than what you just said there, isn't it, James?
And not legally aiding and abetting.
It.
To be clear, not meeting the legal definition of aiding and abetting.
Well, I'm using that in a parochial or a colloquial sense, and certainly the president candidate Trump on the 27th of July exhorting the Russians to go out, an adversary, an enemy of ours, to help him in his campaign against his opponent.
Oh, you mean the joke he made about Hillary? Hey, Russia, if you have any of Hillary's emails, we'd sure like to see them. By the way, there is evidence that the FBI may have had those emails all along. Oh, it's always going to get better and better from now here on out, I think. It's just, I'm laughing at everything I'm seeing because some of this shit I've been saying for 3 years. Anyway, that's not to say that there weren't concerns about the evidence we were seeing. Anecdotal evidence, as Clapper said. This is in his testimony again. But I do not recall any instance when I had direct evidence of the content of these meetings. It's just the frequency and prevalence of them that was of concern. Oh, wow.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
During her interview, former Attorney General Loretta Lynch said she did not, quote, did not recall that being briefed up to me, and added, I can't say that existed or not. Oh my gosh. Former Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes said in his October 25, 2017 interview, quote, well, I saw indications of potential coordination, but I did not see, the specific evidence of the actions of the Trump campaign. Oh, Ben, what is going on? When asked about evidence of the Trump campaign colluding or conspiring with the Russians, former Ambassador Susan Rice told the committee, quote, I don't recall intelligence that I would consider evidence to that effect. Oh, you haven't seen any evidence? Despite telling the House Intelligence Committee in 2017 that he never saw any direct empirical evidence of Trump colluding with the Russians to sway the 2016 election, former DNI James Clapper told CNN in May 2019 that the Trump administration had been, quote, essentially aiding and abetting the Russians. Really, James? He added, and having dozens of contacts with Russians. You saw that clip. Some of whom were connected officially to Russian intelligence. Oh, really? Because your testimony says something completely different. Where's the background music? You can't hear the background music? Really? I can hear it. I don't know. It's there. Anyone else? Can anyone hear the background music? CNN's Brianna Keilar, to her credit, interjected, quote, "To be clear, not meeting the legal definition of aiding and abetting." Clapper replied, "Well, I'm using that in parochial or colloquial sense, I guess, but certainly the president candidate Trump on the 27th of July extorting the Russians, an adversary, an enemy of ours, to help him in his campaign against his opponent. And by the way, the Russians complied with that request about 5 hours later." Bullshit. They have no evidence. Clapper's aiding and abetting insinuations seem clear. It merits noting that in a December 17th, 2017 interviews, 5 months after his closed interview with the House Intelligence Committee, Clapper told CNN, quote, I think this past weekend is illustrative of what a great case officer Vladimir Putin is. He knows how to handle an asset, and that's what he's doing with the president. Trump is a Putin asset, or is this just another casual colloquial remark? The implication seems clear. Clapper, as noted, was not the only former Obama official who told the committee under oath that they had seen no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. However, that did not stop Democratic committee members from publicly stating opposite. Now, this is really good, because chairmanship himself continued to lie to the public, as called by Washington Post columnist Mark Thiessen. Chairmanship repeatedly claimed that his committee had uncovered, quote, plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy. In March 2017, 2 whole months after Trump's inauguration, Schiff told NBC's Meet the Press, I can't do Schiff's voice. I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence by now.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Committee member Eric Swalwell, Democratic representative from California, said, quote, in our investigation, we saw strong evidence of collusion and claimed that President Trump was working on behalf of the Russians.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
And then John O'Brien even tweeted, Donald Trump. Okay, that's the Donald Trump's press conference performance in Helsinki rises to and exceeds the threshold of high crimes and misdemeanors. It was whatever he says there. You can read that yourself while I'm catching up here. Representative Gerald Nadler, Democrat, New Jersey, chairman of the House. I thought Nadler was from New York. Not New Jersey, New York. Anyway, chairman of the House Judiciary Committee said, it's clear that the campaign colluded, and there's lots of evidence of that. Former CI Director John Brennan declared that Trump is holding in the pocket of Putin. On NBC's Meet the Press, Brennan asserted, I called Trump's behavior treasonous, which is to betray one's trust and aid and abet at the enemy, and I stand very much by that claim. When did Russia become our enemy? I've never understood that. I mean, I get it, we're adversarial, so to speak, but remember when during the Obama administration, Clinton came in and she was the Secretary of State and she went in with her reset button and, which was terrible optics. In fact, I think, which video? My second or third video that I ever made, I did a video about, Clinton. And when they hit that reset button, I made a nuclear blast come out. I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, former CI director, very much related. In a New York Times commentary, Brennan wrote, quote, Trump's claims of no collusion are, in a word, hogwash. Oh, but you had no evidence. You had no evidence. And you said that under oath. You said you had no evidence, you lying sack of shit. You're lying. You're lying. Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. Okay, moving on. Oh, by the way, reminder, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have super chats read live on the show. You can click that link that just showed up in the chat. There you go. Russia is the Dems to the Dems, whatever is most convenient for them. Yes, it is. Good morning, Richard Cranium. Also, BG, when it became convenient, they needed an outside enemy, and China owns too much of the U.S. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. Hey, all, I ever mentioned how much I hate Monday morning production meetings? My guys have got their end. I think that's it. Was supposed to say something else, but I got the point though. All right. So anyway, all right. So here we go. Apparently, now let's talk about how Mr. Biden is involved now, because yes, you know how Biden likes to always talk about the Obama-Biden administration as he's running for president now. Well, when you call yourself sewed to the hip of the former president Obama, well, you also get any of the dirt that or lint that falls off his suit on you too. So here it is. The Obama-Biden Oval Office meeting on January 5th was key to the entire anti-Trump operation. This is by Molly Hemingway from the Federalist. The Federalist is surely right of center when it comes to journalism, but that's okay. I'm just disclosing that fully. Susan Rice's bizarre inauguration day email about that meeting helps explain the campaign of leaks, lies, and obstruction that followed. Thank you, Cryptic, with another $5 super chat. The best joke I can think of is quarantine. If you don't get it, it's because it's an inside joke. The best joke I can think of is quarantine. If you don't get it, it's because it's an inside joke. I don't get it. It's an inside... Okay, never mind. Okay, that's just... Puns are the lowest form of humor, but they are the greatest by far form of humor, and it took me a second to figure that one out. Okay. Anyway, information released in the Justice Department's motion to dismiss the case it brought against Lieutenant General Michael Flynn confirms the significance of a January 5th, 2017 meeting at the Obama White House. It was this meeting that Obama gave guidance to key officials who would be tasked with protecting his administration's utilization of secretly funded Clinton campaign research, which alleged Trump was involved in a treasonous plot to collude with Russia from being discovered or stopped by the incoming administration. Quote, President Obama said he wants to be sure that as we engage with the incoming team, we are mindful to ascertain if there is any reason that we cannot share information fully as it relates to Russia. National Security Advisor Susan Rice wrote in an unusual email to herself about the meeting that was also attended by Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, FBI Director James Comey, and Vice President Joe Biden.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
A clearer picture is emerging of the drastic steps that were taken to accomplish Obama's goal in the following weeks and months. Shortly thereafter, high-level operatives began intensely leaking selective information supporting a supposed Russia-Trump conspiracy theory. The incoming National Security Advisor was ambushed, and the incoming Attorney General was forced to recuse himself from oversight of investigations of President Trump. At each major point in the operation, explosive media leaks were the key strategy in the operation to take down Trump. Not only was information on Russia not fully shared with the incoming Trump team, as Obama directs, the leaks and ambushes made the transition chaotic, scared quality individuals away from working in the administration, made effective governance almost impossible, and materially damaged national security. When Jim Comey was finally fired on May 9th, in a part for his duplicitousness, I can't even say it right now, regarding his handling of the Russia collusion theory, he orchestrated the launch of a special counsel probe that continued his efforts for another 2 years. That probe ended with Mueller finding no evidence of any American colluding with Russia to steal the 2016 election, much less Trump or anyone connected to him. An analysis of the timeline from early 2017 shows a clear pattern of behavior from federal officials running the collusion operation against the Trump campaign. It also shows how essential media leaks were to their strategy to sideline key law enforcement and intelligence officials and cripple the ability of the incoming Trump administration to run the country. Here's a little timeline of the key moments and news articles of the efforts per Obama's direction to prevent the Trump administration from learning about the FBI's operation against it. Let's see. These aren't too. There aren't too many. Let's just go through these. So January 4th. Following the closure of pretextually dubious and politically motivated FBI investigation of Flynn at the beginning of January, the leadership of the FBI scrambled to reopen the case against... Remember, because they were going to close the case because they had nothing on Flynn. But, oh, no, the top brass on the 7th floor of the FBI said, oh, no, we can't close the case. Find a reason, make it up, do something, keep that case open so that we can keep this whole little shenanigans going, right? FBI's officials openly discussed their concern about briefing the veteran intelligence official on what they had done to the Trump campaign and transition team and what they were planning to do to the incoming Trump administration. Flynn had to be dealt with. The FBI's top counterintelligence official would later memorialize discussions about the FBI's attempt to, quote, get Flynn fired. No reopening was needed, they determined when they discovered they had failed to close the previous investigation. They hadn't closed, they just kept it open. Let's just keep it open. They found this mistake amazing and serendipitously good and said, quote, our utter incompetence actually helps us, end quote. Even more noteworthy were texts from FBI's number 2 counterintelligence official Peter Strzok to FBI lawyer Lisa Page, who he was stripping, that the 7th floor, quote unquote, a reference to Comey and his deputy director Andrew McCabe, was running the show. On January 5th, Sally Yates, James Comey, CI Director John Brennan, and Director of National Intelligence James Clapper briefed Obama on Russian-related matters in the Oval Office. Biden and Rice also attended. Oh, Biden was there! 11th floor? I thought it was the 7th floor. 7th floor? No, 7th floor. It even says it right here in the article. There's only... I've actually been there. There's 7. I don't know, anyway. The big wigs are on the 7th floor at the FBI. Okay. Biden and Rice attend. After the Obama briefing, the intelligence chiefs who would be leaving at the end of the term were dismissed, and Yates and Comey, who would continue in the Trump administration, were asked to stay. Not only did Obama give his guidance about how to perpetuate the Russia collusion theory investigations, he also talked about Flynn's conversations with the Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak because he had heard the transcripts. Yeah, hands off my ass. Let's see. According to both Comey and Yates, yeah, they both said that Obama briefed them on the contents of those emails. Hello, Katie Descate. I was wondering if we were going to see you today. Okay. Where's it at? Not only did Obama give his guidance about how to perpetuate the Russia collusion theory investigations, he also talked about Flynn's conversation with Russian ambassador Sergei Kislyak, according to both Comey and Yates. Interestingly, Clapper, Comey, and Yates all said that they did not brief Obama about these phone calls. Well, then how did he know about them? How did Barack Obama know about those phone calls? They all testified that he didn't brief them, or they didn't brief him, so he already knew about him. How about that? Oh, by the way, Obama. Even though the intelligence was an FBI product, Rice, who publicly lied but later admitted under oath to her widespread use of unmasked intelligence at the end of the Obama administration, likely briefed Obama on the calls and would have had access to the intelligence. Comey mentions the Logan Act at this meeting. This is when they decide they're going to go after Flynn for the Logan Act. It was at this meeting that Rice memorialized in a bizarre Inauguration Day email to herself that claimed Obama told the gathering to do everything, quote, by the book, ass covering email. But Rice also noted in her email that the key point of discussion in that meeting was whether and how to withhold national security information, likely including details of the investigation into Trump himself from the incoming Trump administration security team or national security team. On January 6th, an ostensibly similar briefing about Russian interference efforts during the 2016 campaign was given to President-elect Trump. After that briefing, Comey privately briefed Trump on the most salacious and absurd P-tape allegation in the Christopher Steele dossier, a document the FBI had already used to obtain a warrant to spy on Trump campaign affiliate Carter Page, even though it was salacious and unverified. Comey told Trump that he was telling him because CNN was looking for any reason it could find to publish a story about Russia having compromising information on him, and he wanted to warn Trump about it. It was a shot across the bow, you lying sack of shit. He did not mention the dossier was completely unverified or that it was a product of a secretly funded operation by the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee, each paid for half. January 10th, in an amazing coincidence, just a coinky-dink, CNN found the excuse to publish the Russian claims after a high-level Obama intelligence operative leaked that Comey had briefed Trump about the dossier. The selective leak, which was credulous, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know the deal. Credulously accepted by CNN reporters Evan Perez, Jim Sciutto, and Jake Tapper, and Carl Bernstein, may have been the most important step in the operation to harm the incoming Trump administration. The leak of the briefing of Trump was used to legitimize a ridiculous dossier full of allegations the FBI knew to be false that multiple news organizations had previously refused to report on for lack of substantiation, and created a cloud of suspicion over Trump's campaign and the administration by insinuating that he was being blackmailed by Russia. I'm not gonna finish this. I'm gonna put this one in the chat if you want to read the rest of it, because I got to get to a couple other articles. Incredulity. No, what was the word they said? Incredulously. That's what. Similar word. You can read the rest of this one. It's a timeline of all the bullshit that happened. All right, I got to move on, though. Let's see. Do I need to... I don't want to read the Giuliani article. Not really. I don't care about Giuliani. Oh, this is a good one, though. This is a good one. I'll make this the last one. And oh no, there's a couple more good ones. I might not get to Twitter trends today. That's okay. I don't have to do them every day. Everything's what's everything? The Twitter trends are all the same today anyway. All right, this one's a good one. This is a good one. So there's this Obama defense official. Her name is Evelyn Farkas, and in testimony to the House committee, she admitted she lied on MSNBC about having evidence of collusion. This is hilarious. She's running for the House of Representatives, I think, in New York. I think New York 17. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, former Obama administration official, defense official Evelyn Farkas testified under oath that she lied during an MSNBC interview when she claimed to have evidence of alleged collusion in a newly declassified congressional transcript of her testimony. Those things that were dumped on Thursday by Schiff's office and the ODNI. Farkas testifies before the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence on June 26, 2017, as a part of the committee's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election between Donald Trump and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Lawmakers keyed in on an appearance Farkas made on MSNBC on March 2nd. Do they have a copy of that here? Oh, they don't. I think I have that, though. It's kind of funny when you look at the video. In which she urged intelligence community bureaucrats to disseminate within the government and potentially even leak to the media any incriminating information that they had about Trump or his aides. Quote, I had a fear that somehow that information would disappear with the senior Obama administration people who left, and that it would be hidden away in the bureaucracy, Farkas said. This is on MSNBC. Farkas, who served in the Obama administration as the deputy assistant secretary of defense for Russia, Ukraine, and Eurasia from 2012 to 2015, also claimed that administration officials appointed by Trump might even destroy evidence of alleged collusion if they found out we knew what we knew about the Trump staff's dealing with Russians. They might try to compromise those sources and methods, Farkas alleged in an MSNBC interview, and we would no longer have access to that intelligence. Oh, no! Oh, no!
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Not enough was coming out of the open, and I knew there was more, Farkas claimed. Now, here's her testimony. But Farkas sang a different tune under oath when questioned by lawmakers about what she actually knew about collusion. Why don't we get back to... let's see, why don't we get back to the sentence that I just asked you about? It says the Trump folks, if they found out how we knew what we knew about their staff dealing with Russians, Gowdy said. Well, how would you know what the U.S. government knew at that point? You didn't work for it, did you? She didn't even work for the government when she supposedly knew this information. I didn't, said Farkas, a former mid-level Russia analyst who left the federal government in 2015. Well, then how did you know? Gowdy responded. I didn't know anything, Farkas said. What? Did you have information connecting the Trump campaign to the hack of the DNC, Gowdy asked. No, Farkas admitted. So when you say, quote, we knew, the reality is you knew nothing, Gowdy asked later during the deposition. Correct, Farkas responded. Gowdy didn't stop there. So when you say, quote, knew, what you really meant was felt. Or he asked. Correct, Farkas answers. You didn't know anything, Gowdy continued. That's correct, Farkas responded. And she's running for Congress in the New York 17th district. So that's hilarious. Let's see. Seth Rich. I'm going to skip Seth Rich for now. Now, and then also Gowdy identifies reporters who... Gowdy's... I never know what to think about Gowdy. Sometimes I think Gowdy's the rock star, and then sometimes I think, Gowdy, why do you hold back on some things? I never know. But anyway, I wish, and I'd wish that Gowdy would have been the Attorney General, but it doesn't matter. I think Barr's kind of doing the right stuff. Hello, Kessler. I didn't see you there. Good morning. Gowdy identifies reporters who allegedly peddled misleading Adam Schiff leaks. Former Representative Trey Gowdy accused reporters from CNN, Politico, and the New York Times on Sunday of helping House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff peddle the now debunked conspiracy theory of collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government. Gowdy was asked in interviews on Fox News Sunday Morning Futures. Let's just watch the clip. This is classic Trey Gowdy. We're gonna got a couple. We have two more. In fact, we're gonna watch two clips now. And I never watch Fox News. I only see clips on the internet. But this one's pretty good. Let's skip this ad. Here we go.
Have to go all the way up to the president. It doesn't have to go all the way up to the president. Those are some pretty senior level folks that we trusted.
Yeah.
We trusted. I forget how to do. I forgot to put the Kermit the Frog in his
real
voice.
Quick, you talk about the media having culpability as well. Name some names of those.
He's going to name names.
Media institutions that helped.
Name some names, she said. Name some names. And Trey Gowdy's about to say naming names.
For 3 years.
Name them names, Trey Gowdy.
Well, I hope you have a 3-hour show. I mean, let's just start with Politico and anyone not named Rachel Bates. She was the only reporter that I dealt with that was fair. Kyle Cheney is just an acolyte for Adam Schiff. Manu Raju from CNN, nothing Schiff wanted out made public. No leak was too low for Manu Raju and CNN.
Unbelievable.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah, those weren't the only people he named. That was just a short clip of the clip. I'm trying to
give the subject.
Hang on now. I need to. How do I stop this shit?
As you yourself noted, and the Republican-controlled Senate.
Well, I want to stop. There we go. So anyway, Manu Raju, nothing Schiff wanted out made public. No leak was too low for Manu Raju. Fill in the blanks. Did he?
Feel like your time short
okay,
what
stop
they told you?
playing.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Anyway, yeah, there were some definite favorite places for Adam Schiff to leak bullshit. Or should I say bullshit? And finally, this is the one I wanted to make sure I got to. I'm sure I don't close the wrong window here. Tucker was on a roll, and we're going to go through this. Tucker Carlson, quote, sociopath Adam Schiff should resign over the Russian hoax. Tucker is taking no prisoners. In fact, should we just watch Tucker, and I'll try to stop it and talk enough so I don't get too much trouble from Fox News. But Tucker absolutely is that, let's see, which works the best way? It'll be work the best way this way. Let's do it like that. Tucker was on fire regarding Adam Schiff. Let's go. Oh, I'm going to skip some of this though,
because they've admitted it.
Okay, let's see.
It was instead an elaborate and
okay, we'll start here.
At the time, the whole thing seemed absurd. Now we know it was worse than absurd. This wasn't, in fact, what we thought it was, history's longest episode of mass hysteria. It was instead an elaborate and intentional hoax staged by the most unscrupulous and power-mad political operatives this country has ever seen. Sound like overstatement? How do we know that? Because they have admitted it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the House Intelligence Committee, chaired by Congressman Adam Schiff of California, finally released 57 transcripts of testimony delivered to the committee behind closed doors, all of it during the Russia investigation. What do those transcripts reveal? We're not going to ask you to trust us on this one. It's too important.
This is great because he's not going
to quote directly from the transcript.
Here we go.
Jim Clapper, Obama's director of national intelligence, said this, quote, I never saw any direct empirical evidence that the Trump campaign or someone in it was plotting or conspiring with the Russians to meddle in the elections. End quote. Compare that to his Twitter feed. Former UN Ambassador Samantha Power, meanwhile, was asked by the committee if she had any evidence of collusion with the Russians. She replied this way, quote, I'm not in possession of anything. I'm not in possession and didn't read or absorb information that came out of the intelligence community. End quote. National Security Advisor Susan Rice said this, quote, I don't recall intelligence that I would consider evidence. And here's former Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Lynch was asked if she saw evidence of Russian collusion, and she replied this way, quote, I do not recall that being briefed to me.
Nada.
Notice Lynch's word choice here. I do
Negative.
not recall. For 3 years, our entire political system, every television show, every newspaper, all media outlets revolved around the hunt for Russian spies. We were told again and again
The hunt for Red October. Coming to a theater near you.
To justify this, that collusion was the greatest crime ever committed in America.
Collusion. Yeah, collusion.
Collusion. Yet the Attorney General of the United States, a close friend of the President, Barack Obama, claims she, quote, does not recall if she ever received any evidence that any of it was true.
Wait, it is the biggest deal on the planet. I do not recall if I don't recall if I've ever seen evidence. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
If she'd been Roger Stone when she said that, she would have been charged with perjury on the spot.
She sure
We'd be
would.
watching her sentencing right now. But she's not Roger Stone. And of course, Lynch probably thought the transcript of those remarks would never be made public.
Of course. Because here's the thing. This is the reason they thought they'd get away with it. Is because they thought Hillary Clinton would win. And so all the stuff they did before the election, all that bullshit beforehand, they figured if they got away with it, hey, they didn't have to prosecute Hillary Clinton. Why would we have to investigate anyone in a Hillary Clinton administration? And so the worst possible thing that could happen to them was the unthinkable. The unthinkable. Donald Trump won. They're like, oh shit, we need to do something. Fuck this guy up. And they tried, and they tried, and they tried, yeah.
That was clearly Evelyn Farkas's assumption.
Oh, here's
Farkas
Evelyn
is
Farkas.
a former Defense Department official from the Obama administration. She became a fixture, you may
I think they'll put, I think this is where they do have a clip of her on this.
Scrambled for puppets
This is
with
awesome.
legitimate sounding resumes to push the Russia collusion narrative. Dumb people who would say anything. And in those categories, Farkas delivered in spades.
Here it is.
Here she was in March of
This was awesome.
I was urging my former colleagues and frankly speaking, the people on the Hill, it was more actually aimed at telling the Hill people, get as much information as you can, get as much intelligence as you can before President Obama leaves the administration.
She's so sure of herself.
I had a fear that somehow that information would disappear with the senior people who left. So it would be hidden away in the bureaucracy, that the Trump folks, if they found out how we knew what we knew about the Trump staff's dealing with Russians.
She's like making up as she goes along.
Try to compromise.
Then she looked up to her right.
Meaning we would no longer have access to that intelligence. So I became very worried because not enough was coming out into the open, and I knew that there was more.
Yes, you knew there was more.
Yeah.
You knew there was more?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God.
Stop fucking lying.
That's why you have the leaking. Exactly.
Oh, that's why you have the leaking.
We have very good intelligence on Russia.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Evelyn Farkas. She can't take your appendix out, by the way. She's not that kind of doctor. We knew what we knew. But she didn't know anything. Farkas was lying
E. Michael.
as purely as a liar.
Farkas? No. Fark you.
Liar can lie.
That's
Once
hilarious.
under oath behind closed doors, Farkas admitted that. Quote, I didn't know anything, she said. It was all lies, literally all of it. Even the core claims about hacking that formed the basis of the entire story and the investigation that followed. In 2016, during the campaign, someone stole information from the DNC's email server.
They still don't know. Oh, yeah. The other thing. Maybe he'll say it. I'll let him go through this. But listen to this.
Blamed that theft on Russian agents and therefore Donald Trump, who, needless to say, was their pawn.
Remember the name
In fact,
CrowdStrike?
There was never real evidence.
Remember
that
CrowdStrike? You know who that
happened.
is, CrowdStrike?
The DNC, you'll remember, never allowed federal investigators to inspect their email servers. That's odd behavior for people who claim to be the victims of foreign espionage. Instead, the party servers were inspected by a third-party company called CrowdStrike. All of this coming back to you? Well, at the time, Adam Schiff's committee interviewed the CEO of CrowdStrike, Sean Henry. Schiff questioned Henry directly, personally. He asked if Henry knew when the Russians had stolen the data. Henry's reply, which we're seeing for the first time, is this, quote, "As it relates to the DNC, we have indicators that data was exfiltrated. We did not have
concrete evidence. That's the CEO of CrowdStrike testifying under oath. Remember, and why didn't Schiff want this out? Why did Schiff try to not allow this testimony to come out? Thank you, Cryptic. Thank you, Cryptic, for another super chat for the $2 saying, quote, "Did you know that Vikings communicate through Norse code?" Oh my God, that's so bad. But it's my favorite form of humor. So you can keep them up. Bring those puns. Yeah, CrowdStrike. Listen, read that for yourself right there. What's in front of you? We did not have concrete evidence. Now, remember, in theory, the FBI never looked at those servers. Listen to what Tucker says here.
We did not have concrete evidence. Later, Henry admitted he had only, quote, circumstantial evidence that the Russians were involved.
Circumstantial evidence. Oh, is that like we're moderately confident? Oh my gosh, they were moderate. No, we're moderately confident. Well, I'm moderately, honey. Are you moderately confident that we'll be in love? Are you? Will we be in love forever? Yes, I'm moderately confident, dear, that we will be in love forever.
Adam Schiff heard those words directly. He heard them from the one person who would know for sure.
Remember, Adam Schiff is the chairman of this committee, and he's the chairman who, when they did these, remember the closed-door testimony that all the other Republican Congresses were not released? And in fact, you know what's amazing about this? Because there were Republicans in there. There was a few that were in there. Trey Gowdy, obviously, and there's other people in there. And remember, Trey Gowdy came out saying how this was all, I'm paraphrasing, bullshit. But he didn't, notice how the Republicans didn't leak any of this testimony. They did it in a skiff where it was all confidential, recorded and confidentially, so they didn't have transcripts. And now these are the transcripts that we're starting to see now that Adam Schiff didn't want anybody to see. Listen to this.
Certain. Schiff knew there was nothing substantial at the core of the Russian collusion story. At the very center, it was hollow. It was
Adam Schiff.
Schiff never even suggested this in public. Instead, he did the opposite. He spent years on television telling you it was totally real. Shut up.
So there's clear evidence on
clear evidence. Clear evidence.
There's ample evidence of collusion in plain sight.
Collusion in plain sight.
Found any evidence of collusion? Yes, we have. You can see evidence in plain sight.
Evidence in plain sight.
Your lying dog face pony show.
Significant evidence of collusion. There's ample evidence, and indeed there is. Of collusion of people in the Trump campaign with
your
the
lying
Russians.
dog face pony show.
Evidence of collusion.
Plenty of evidence.
All of this is evidence of collusion. There is significant evidence of collusion between the campaign and Russia.
In case you weren't counting during that montage, Adam Schiff said evidence 9 times.
Evidence.
Every single time he was lying.
Evidence.
And it was fairly obvious at the time if you were following closely. Schiff never produced any of the so-called evidence that the DNC server, or by the way, John Podesta's email, were hacked by the Russian government. Several times on the show, we raised the question, do we really know this?
And he even went on Tucker.
Intelligence officers
he went on Tucker
saying, actually, that didn't happen, and here's how we know. And we brought that up on the show. We came under enormous pressure to be quiet. You're crazy. We know that for a fact. But we didn't know it for a fact. And when Schiff came on this show, we asked him, how exactly do you know this? He never answered our question. Instead, he accused us of treason. look right into the camera and say, I know for a fact
You
that the government of
sneaky
Vladimir
bitch.
Putin was behind the hacks of John Podesta's email.
Absolutely. The government of Vladimir Putin was behind the hacks of our institution and the dumping of information.
Of John Podesta's email.
Not only in
John
the
Podesta's
United States,
email.
but also
Notice
in
he's
Europe.
not answering.
Okay, you're not, you know what, you're dodging.
And Tucker,
You'll look and say, I know they did. John Podesta's email, they hacked
and
those.
I think that Ronald Reagan will be
can't-
rolling over
Ronald
his
Reagan,
grave.
fine. Ronald Reagan, fine.
You're carrying water for the Kremlin.
I'm not carrying water for the. You're making. Look, you're a sitting member of Congress on the Intel Committee, and you can't say they hacked.
You're gonna have to move your show to RT Russian television.
Oh my God, what an ass. What a complete and utter ass. And I'm not talking about like the ass crack team on Monkey in the Morning and shit like that. He's an ass. Holy shit.
A normal person would not behave that way. Could not behave that way. Conscience would prevent it.
Could not,
Adam
Sam,
Schiff
I am.
is a sociopath. He will do or say anything to achieve power. He is unfit to hold office. He should resign. And not just Adam Schiff. The entire apparatus of official Washington has been exposed by these transcripts, as well as by the documents just released in the Michael Flynn case we went over last night. In November of 2019, government attorney Brendan Van Grack defended the FBI's decision to interrogate Flynn at the White House with no lawyer. Van Grack said this, quote, the FBI was engaged in a legitimate and significant investigation into whether individuals associated with the campaign of then-candidate Donald J. Trump were coordinating with the Russian government.
A legitimate and significant investigation into whether individuals associated with the Trump campaign or campaign of then candidate Donald J. Trump were coordinating with Russia. They knew the whole time that they were full of shit.
In that same filing, Van Grack wrote that Flynn's phone call with the Russian ambassador, the now famous Kislyak, was of central importance. Quote, it was imperative that the FBI determine whether and why such communications with the Russian ambassador had occurred.
Whether and why. Ugh. And now we know the whether and why. They had the transcript of the phone call before they ever interviewed Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. God, these guys are assholes.
Both of those statements from Van Grack, we now know conclusively, are lies. In its filing this week, the DOJ revealed that in early January, the FBI had already known that there was, quote, no derogatory information tying Michael Flynn to the Russian government. Nor did they need to know whether Flynn had spoken with Ambassador Kislyak. They knew for a fact he had because they were listening at the time. They had a word-for-word transcript of the call.
Right.
In other words, Van Grack was lying in his filing.
Oh, and that's against the law, too. I didn't even think about him going to jail. Ah.
Now, this is not only of importance to Donald Trump, the people who work for him, or those who voted for Donald Trump. This is important to every American because things fall apart quickly when high-level officials do things like this for political reasons. Mm-hmm. Look around. Do you know anybody who trusts the government anymore?
Go get him, Tucker.
There's a reason for that, and it's not good. It's things like this. And by the way, it's not just Democrats you should blame for the corrosion of our public life. The vast majority of the Russian collusion investigation, including the testimony you just heard, the clips we just played, occurred during the first 2 years of this administration.
Right.
Who ran the government then?
Right.
At the time, Republicans controlled both houses of Congress and every single committee by definition. They had the power to expose this hoax and to shut it down, but they did not.
They didn't. And
We can only speculate.
But the problem is, I don't know that they could have and gotten, it would have looked like a cover-up had they done it. And so they had to let it play out. That's the only thing I disagree with this, Tucker. They could have, but they could not expose the confidential information, even though they had ideas. And remember, these closed-door testimony, the closed-door testimony was done while Adam Schiff was the chairman. So the Democrats did control then. The Republicans were in a tough spot as far as that goes, because they Rosenstein had already gotten this special counsel thanks to Comey, but it was all bullshit. It just was.
To why they did not, perhaps they were too cowardly to tell the truth. Or maybe, deep down, a lot of them agreed with the aims of all of this.
Yeah.
Either way, it'll be very interesting, and we're going to sit back and enjoy it, as Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell and Richard Burr and so many of the other useless Senate Republicans, the total phonies who tell you they're representing you but don't, explain why they didn't really do anything to stop the derailment of America while it was in progress.
All right, so there you go. That's Tucker, who who sums up pretty much what we talked about, Dave, very well. Real quick, let's finish this up because it's time to go, but I'm going to just, I'll get a couple of these hashtag or the trending things in. Thank you again, Chi-Town J, Necrosaw Collins, Skookum, Sydney Rochelle. Oh, Skookum sent me something. Never mind. But thank you. Thanks for sending me something too. Oh no! Oh my God. Okay, Skookum, we're gonna hit this one. For tweeting out the show. Remember, if you watch on a regular, please share the stream out. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers before July, so we can do some live streams while Laura, Lady Boomer, Laura, and I go on the road. And also, don't forget the like button. If you like what we do, hit the like button. Lots of people here today. Holy smokes, 58, 26 likes. There's at least 30. There's 32 of you. We need to hit the like button right now before we go. Now, but before we go, let's check. Skookum sent me something that I think's hilarious. Apparently, Iran is having some issues. They're having some issues. Yes, a Iranian missile. Oh, there's the wrong page. Iranian missile strikes own ship, killing 19 sailors and wounding 15. Feel bad for those guys, but anyway, the dead at least. The missile fired during an Iranian training exercise mistakenly struck a Navy vessel instead of its intended target in waters near the strategic Strait of Hormuz, killing 19 sailors and wounding 15 others. Iranian authorities said Monday. The bungled training exercise took place on Sunday and raised a new question about the readiness of the Islamic Republican Armed Forces amid heightened tensions with the U.S. just months after they accidentally shot down a Ukrainian jetliner near Tehran, killing 176 passengers. So, yeah, that's not a good thing that the Iranians shot down or sunk one of their own ships and killed a bunch of their own people, but play stupid games. Real quick, just a quick check at the on the hashtag, or not the hashtag, the oh wow, that worked. On the header for trending topics, coronavirus is still the main topic of discussion. Coronavirus. Wuhan reports first cluster of new cases since lifting lockdown. Oh, interesting. I wonder what their real numbers there are, though. They still haven't gone. Now, look, when this started showing up in the U.S. and all of a sudden China's numbers just kind of stopped, they were still in the 82,000 range of total cases, not even deaths. Now, we know that there's probably 40, 50,000 deaths in Wuhan alone, just by the number of burial urns that they brought out there. But anyway, new cases have been reported by the Chinese city where COVID-19 pandemic began. Over 50% of Spain enters the first phase of transition from lockdown. Let's see. And that Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in China, reported its first cluster of infections since lockdown on the central Chinese city was lifted a month ago. Interesting. A cluster of 10 infections. Okay. And it also coincides with a sharp uptick in cases in South Korea. What? South Korea, the model that we should have all been striving for, in a totally different climate, a totally different atmosphere, and a totally different culture, and basically an island South Korea. But everyone says, "Oh, we should look at South Korea and how great they've done." Yeah, let's compare us to Europe, where it's very similar, and they have about 40,000 more deaths than we do. But no, we won't do that. I want to hear about the South Korea part, though. Is it in here? Isn't this article? Apparently, there's a new in South Korea. The mayor of Seoul, Park Won-soon, said that at least 85 confirmed infections were linked to a man who had visited nightclubs last week. Mr. Park shut the city's bars and nightclubs over the weekend, and officials are trying to track down about 5,000 people who visited clubs and bars in Itaewon, a popular nightlife district in the capital during that period. The outbreak triggered South Korea's steepest daily increase in new coronavirus infections in more than a month, threatening a broader easing of the country's social distancing measures. Education officials said they had been forced to delay the reopening of schools planned for this week. South Korea has enjoyed widespread international praise for its mass testing, high-tech contact tracing, and social distancing. Yeah, they track people by phones. Like, they want to do that shit here, but that really doesn't really mesh with civil liberties in the United States. So maybe that's, like I said, it's a different culture. They're used to SARS. They're used to, other things that have happened there, and so they're really sensitive to these kinds of things. And maybe we will be too from now on, but I hope not the way we've done it this time. I think maybe we went a little crazy. K-pop leads to death should be the headline. Okay. All right, so that's that. On the real quick, we're gonna go through these quick because I gotta get out of here. Let's see. So we're double click here. We'll click here, and I should have all the trending topics. Jerry Stiller, we already talked about Jerry Stiller. May he rest in peace. Money motivation will skip. Serenity Now, is that something to do with? Oops, wait, why did I do that? Is that something to do with Jerry Stiller? What? Hang on, I screwed that up. Let's try this again. Serenity Now. What is that? Entertainment trending. Oh, yes. Frankenstein and Arthur Spooner were hilariously characters that could only have been played by Jerry Stiller with his trademark delivery. Whenever he started to raise his voice, you couldn't help but laugh. Rest in peace, Jerry. Here's to Serenity Now. Maybe I'm missing. I don't remember the joke, but anyway. All right. Anyway, rest in peace, Jerry Stiller. Again, Festivus is also trending because of Jerry Stiller. Arthur Spooner, same thing. Monday Thought. Everything's about Jerry Stiller. Obamagate's back to number 9. They took it out, but it's back. Let's see if there's any good top tweets on Obamagate. Top tweet by Lou Dobbs. The biggest political scandal in American history. Donald Trump increases attack on Obama with Obamagate tweet. That was from yesterday. For America, tag, you're it. Nice try with your investigation. Biatch, now it's your turn. Oh, you know what? Problem with this is all the people who haven't paid attention at all or who've only listened to one side of the story, they're all going to see this as retaliatory, as the dictator's taken over. Since before I ever even thought about being supportive of the president, because I didn't vote for him in 2016, but this whole narrative, this whole bullshit, never passed the smell test to me. And so, listening to this and watching it develop and watching it turn into what it actually was, well, let's just say I get a kick out of it. I get a kick out of you. Chuck Todd, by the way, who's a slimy prick, he did he did a little deceptive edit. Maybe we'll get into that tomorrow. But anyway, Obamagate, we know why it's trending. It's gonna get bigger and bigger. Mirror, that's something with Jerry Stiller. Monday Vibes, Del Boca Vista. That's a Jerry Stiller thing too, isn't it? Yeah, everything's. Here's a Del Boca Vista for wherever you are now. Okay. Yeah, everything's Jerry Stiller. This guy must have been loved. Oh, here it is. Chuck Todd's trending. Oh, Chuck Todd's. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Chuck Todd apologizes for, quote, inadvertently and inaccurately editing clip of our interview.
You're lying.
You lying sack of crap. So here it is. NBC's Meet the Press said they inadvertently and inaccurately cut short a video clip of an interview with A.G. Barr before offering commentary and analysis on the show. You know what's funny about that? The exact same edit, literally the exact same edit did show up on Joy Reid's show on MSNBC too. So, inadvertently and inaccurately, really? It was used on several other, not just Joy Reid's show, a couple other shows. The clip used an abbreviated quote from A.G. William Barr to criticize the Justice Department's decision to drop charges against the former National Security Officer Michael Flynn. Here it is right here.
Peggy Noonan, I want you to listen to this Bill Barr.
Listen to this.
Bill Barr. Peggy Noonan, I want you to listen to this Bill Barr answer to a question about what will history say about this. Wait till you hear this answer. Take a listen.
When history looks back on this
listen
decision,
how they watch how they cut it.
How do you think it will be written?
Well, history's written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history.
That's where they cut it
I was
off.
struck, Peggy, by the cynicism of the answer.
Now
it's a correct answer.
Here comes the
he's
full
the
answer.
Attorney General. He didn't make the case that he was upholding the rule of law. He was almost admitting that, yeah, this is a political job.
And now
When
the full
history
answer.
looks back on this decision, how do you think it will be written?
Well, history's written by the winner, so it largely depends on who's writing the history. But I think a fair history would say it was a good decision because it upheld the rule of law. It upheld the standards of the Department of Justice.
Wow.
Did what was an injustice.
That's a little different than what Chuck Todd put on TV. And guess what? Joy Reid put the same clip on TV. Lawrence O'Donnell put the same clip on TV. These bastards are such full of shit. They're so full of shit. So anyway, Chuck Todd's getting dragged, and he apologized. I bet people are pissed off he apologized. Let me see if I can find one person who's pissed off that he's apologized. Gosh, all the big hitters out here. I don't know who Andrew Clark is. He's some guy who has 40,000 followers. He's the rapper response director for Donald Trump campaign. Jerry Dunleavy is from DC Examiner, dragging Chuck Todd. Will Chuck Todd and Meet the Press apologize for this truly deceptive edit? Yeah, they did. Shocker. But listen to the bullshit apology. Again, here's the bullshit apology. Because he realized they cut it there, and then decided to discuss it, knowing that answer was longer. NBC's Meet the Press said they, quote, inadvertently and inaccurately cut short a video clip of an interview with A.G. Barr before offering commentary and analysis on the show. The clip used an abbreviated quote from A.G. William Barr to criticize the Justice Department's decision to drop the charges against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. You lying, you always lying. Oh my God, stop fucking lying. Okay, we're gonna move on. I thank you. Was it MC? I'm pretty sure you're the one who brought that and said, "Hey, that'd be a good one to use." And I'm gonna be using it a lot, I think. All right, moving on. So that was Chuck Todd. Yeah, fuck him. Mr. Stiller's gone. Corner. I'm pretty sure that's is that something to do with? No, it's not. Oh, I see. Obama laments Flynn dismissal after granting clemency to the found terrorist. Yeah. How about that? Oh, yes. I've never heard of a case where someone charged with perjury, we'd let him get off. You granted clemency to terrorists, you jackass. Oh my God. Anyway, okay. That's why. I don't know if that's why corner is trending though. Just corners in a lot of different things here. Corrections corner. Okay, never mind. Who cares? Moving on. It's nothing significant. I was just looking for some. Oh, the American Hockey League. Why is that trending? That's not the NHL, but the AHL Board of Governors has voted to cancel the remainder of the 2019-20 AHL regular season and the 2020 Alder Cup playoffs due to the ongoing COVID-19 public health crisis. I don't know where the AHL is. It must be minor league hockey. Anyway, they must be playing late into the season. They're not this year. Carlos Hyde and another Monday. So that's what's trending on Twitter, and that's it. All right, gang, I gotta go. Not go like that kind of go, but I gotta leave. That's a better word. I have to leave and leave you with that. Thank you. One more notification here. Thank you, Becca Fairley, for tweeting out the show, dear. I'm going to retweet it even though it's the end of the show. Hey, but if you share the show and tell people to watch it later, it's still at the same link. So you can link that out, say, hey, watch this show, and maybe you could subscribe to this another time if you really like what we do. But it is, 54 people, 35 likes. Come on, people. Come on. On the way out, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And thank you for being here on the Morning Night Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Sometimes we're a little late on Mondays because of my work schedule, but, we'll try to not be that. Today we weren't. We were on time. It was good. All is good, and no cats and dogs sleeping together and all that stuff. So anyway, I got to go. Thank you so much. Hit the like button and share the stream, and if you want to do donations, you can do that through the Streamlabs links in the description down below or at PDawgnight.live. It's right there. See that? Right there. It's right there. PDawg, it's right, this thing right here, PDawgnight.live. And you can follow me on Twitter, Minds and Gabs, right over there, and we're good. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. I am PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.